NBA star's name is being cleared in a defamation suit brought by newspaper owner and opinion writer Johnny Depp over false abuse allegations. A lawyer who achieved national notoriety for successfully defending actor Johnny Depp in a defamation case against actress Amber Heard is currently representing an NBA player in a similar court dispute against the publisher of a newspaper and an opinion journalist. Camille Vasquez's signature appears on the defamation action, which was submitted on Richon Holmes' behalf to the California Superior Court on March 1. Two accusations of defamation are made against Alexis Holmes, the NBA center's ex-wife, and the Bee defendants, which are the McClatchy Company, LLC, the publisher of the Sacramento Bee, and Robin Epley, the editorial board member and opinion writer who bylined the in-question pieces. Holmes has spent the last 4 years playing for the Sacramento Kings after being selected in the second round of the 2015 draft out of Bowling Green. However, after starting the bulk of the games he played in the previous 3 seasons, the tough, rebounding big man has saw his playing time decrease in the 2022-23 campaign. According to the lawsuit, after Holmes took a leave of absence from the team in March 2022 for personal reasons, articles by Epley published in the Sacramento Bee made blatantly false claims of domestic violence and child abuse public. These articles sent the unmistakable message to their readers that Alexis Holmes is a victim and plaintiff is an abuser, the lawsuit stated. In spite of accumulating evidence that their chosen story was obviously wrong, the newspaper and one of its new reporters clung to and profited from a false narrative that was entrenched in hurtful racial stereotypes, the lawsuit stated, but plaintiff has been wrongly branded an abuser in the public eye while being vindicated in court, the statement continued. The attorneys, which included Vasquez's Brown Rudnick LLP associates Leo Preciado, Jessica Mayers, and Sam Manas, extensively emphasized in the filing the fact that Richon Holmes was given complete custody of his son, RJ, by numerous courts from Georgia to California. Richon Holmes, a model parent who has sacrificed his starting position for an NBA team in order to do what is right for his son, is the victim of this irresponsible journalism, according to the court documents. Richon Holmes was ultimately granted full custody of the boy over the boy's mother by 3 different courts. The lawsuit outlined how the Holmes relationship started in college and culminated in marriage in 2015 after Alexis gave birth to the couple's son. The couple later engaged in a bitter custody dispute over their son, which served as the basis for several pieces in the Sacramento Bee. The couple divorced amicably in 2019. Prior to learning that her ex-boyfriend was seeing someone else, the lawsuit said that Alexis was relatively helpful with plaintiff and did not interfere with spending time with his 6-year-old kid. According to the complaint, what came next was a slew of horrific charges of domestic abuse that were given credibility by Epley's writings despite being demonstrably false. The video interview with the Sacramento Bee that featured Alexis Holmes' assertions was also cited in the lawsuit. You may view that interview on YouTube. The defense team for Richon Holmes contended that Epley, using her own words, maintained her belief in Alexis Holmes and reaffirmed it even after the Sacramento County Superior Court rejected the accuser's request for a restraining order. The Bee defendants responded to the Sacramento County Superior Court's denial of Alexis' request for a restraining order against the plaintiff with an article titled Alexis Holmes' All Too Typical Experience Seeking Protection from the King's Richon Holmes, which, despite the Superior Court's rejection of Ms. Holmes' allegations, began from the explicit premise that Ms. Holmes is a victim in need of protection from plaintiff. The action asserted in its summary that Ms. Epley and the Bee regularly publicized, legitimized, and accepted as factual Ms. Holmes' accusations that plaintiff was abusive to her and their kid. However, Ms. Holmes' allegations of abuse that the Bee defendants disseminated widely were a horrific deception, as evidenced by the data and public records that were readily available to Ms. Epley and the Bee but seemingly disregarded by them. In order to gain advantage over the plaintiff in their custody battle, Ms. Holmes made up the story that the plaintiff had abused her and their kid. The basketball player claimed that the opinion writer and the Sacramento Bee had their own self-serving motives to, instead, spin the false narrative that Richon is a wealthy, professional athlete who is accused of domestic abuse but is shielded by sporting and legal institutions, and use that narrative to benefit themselves. The lawsuits claim this. The lie that Alexis Holmes is a victim and plaintiff is an abuser, according to the plaintiff, affected Richon Holmes' emotional state and his career outlook. Although Epley's work was defended by a lawyer for the Sacramento Bee as a combination of fair and truthful reporting of judicial procedures and opinion. I know the truth, and so does he, Alexis Holmes reportedly said in response to the lawsuit, adding, I can't wait for our first date in court. In a statement to Law and Crime, Camille Vasquez said the Sacramento Bee articles regarding Richon Holmes amounted to a planned and malicious effort to maliciously slander Mr. Holmes, a loyal son, father, and teammate. We will explore all legal options to repair the harm that Mr. Holmes